Keep your casa great. From tracks to the office of the president. That's the 100-meter race Omar Brown wants to run. I am the chief of command, office of the president, talking to the young man who promises renovation, transparency, and representation. Joining us this evening on Zoom is immediate past sixth form representative for the Students' Council, YC track star, and president aspirant of the 2020-2021 academic year, Mr. Omar Brown, who, with your help, wants to sprint into his legacy. I am Bobby Francis. You're watching the People Podcast. All this and more. Keep your casa great is the slogan for the year, with Omar Brown pushing to become president of the SFA. On this special edition of the B Broadcast, brought to you by the B Broadcasting Commission, sponsored by the Students' Council of Broadcaster High School, a union we can trust. We interview one of two presidential candidates, Mr. Omar Brown. What are you doing this evening, Omar?
I'm doing good, Mr. Francis. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us. You're coping with COVID-19.
I'm coping good, I'm staying in, practicing all the health and safety, and just easy back.
Easy back. I hear you say that now. Keep your casa great. That don't sound Trumpish to you. You're a Trump supporter, Mr. Brown. How that go with you?
I'm not a Trump supporter, but keeping your castle great comes from my name, Omar the Great. You know,
Okay.
yes.
Tell me about that name. You gave yourself that name or it was proclaimed unto you?
It was proclaimed unto me though, because of all my leadership qualities and just being a good friend and a good person. Person call me and always say, Omar the Great. So I say, Omar the Great, and I just get it together. And from so many years back, I'm still holding on to that name.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I can call myself Bob the Don. Don't ask me who's calling. Tell me, Mr. Brown, what type of skills do you have to achieve greatness at YC?
Okay, well, I'm a team player. I work as a team. I don't believe in one person. Unity is strength. I'm also I'm also honest person. I'm also I know I also put in the work. I'm a hardworking person. So for whatever the problem is or whatever I have to accomplish, I work hard to accomplish it.
Fair enough. This is, if I'm not mistaken, your first time stepping into this spectrum of public life like this. How you plan to convince the present student leaders in the sixth form to vote for you, the man with no experience at this level?
Well, can you repeat the last part, Bobby? I didn't hear you clearly.
I'm saying, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the first time stepping into this spectrum of public life. How you plan to convince the present sixth form student leaders to vote for you, the man with no experience in this type of thing?
All right, well, that's right. It's the first time stepping into a position like this. But I say to the people to vote for me because I'm an honest person. I'm a hardworking person. I'm innovative and creative. When it comes on to new ideas, I have that luck. I know to interact with people. I have good communication skills, and 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 always keep motivated. I'm self-motivated, and I know to work along with people and get the job done.
Fair enough. And you think that's something the present leaders who I gather are Hill supporters would want to hear?
Well, yes, I do.
Fair enough. It's a bit hard, getting accustomed to a new environment. I'm zooming into lower six right now. What's your plan to ensure there's a smooth transition for the newcomers?
All right. Well, Bobby, with this COVID thing right now, we can't really get to see each other in person, but we have to just cope with what we have. So my plan is, newcomers coming in, they feel kind, they don't really get the experience, coming into the school. So what I plan to do, I would create groups online, create groups and have meet and greet. Everyone communicate with each other, and just feel welcome. I want everyone to feel like as one, we're one family.
Fair enough. Tell us a little about yourself, though, Omar. Leadership aside, sports aside, who's Omar Brown?
All right, well, my name is Omar Brown. I'm 18 years of age. I've enrolled in York High School since grade 7 and now I'm in grade 13. I love to dance, you know, I love to do every extra activity. I'm a flexible person. I can do dancing, I can do bookwork, I'm all over the place, but I'm still focused in whatever I do. I'm a team leader, I know to get everything together and get the work done, and I'm just a great person.
Fair enough. Indeed, sounding great. What's your first task to tackle, Mr. Brown, should you be elected president?
All right, well, my first task to tackle is I want to create our own six farm. I want to create our own six farm welfare program to give back, help the kids who are less fortunate, who are not on path. Like at least I want to let them have lunch at least 3 times per week, and also with this COVID thing that's going around right now. If school doesn't start back, I want to help out the kids who I said are less fortunate in getting the resources that they need to cope with the online daily tasks with their schoolwork. But I cannot do this by myself. So I want to get all the six farm on board because unity is strength, and with
Right.
strength we can accomplish anything.
You can accomplish everything. How you plan to fund that, though, Mr. Brown?
All right, so I plan to fund it by getting sponsors from private or public organizations or even friends and family. And if that doesn't work, I get along with the events coordinator and we plan some fundraiser. But either way, it should be done.
Fair enough. What do you have to say about the critics that are saying this is just a popularity contest for you, Mr. Brown? Nothing of substance. What do you have to say to hit back at that?
All right, well, the critics can't say anything. I always say substance over hype. People can always say anything, but I know myself and I know me for me. All those who know me or know of me, they will know that I'm not a hype person. And with my popularity will bring prosperity.
That sounds like it should have been your campaign slogan, of course. Mr. Brown, you're going up against a renowned leader and public speaker, Fiamoy Hill. You don't feel intimidated. You don't think you're way out of your league.
No, Mr. Francis, I don't feel intimidated. I'm confident in myself and I'm confident in my supporters and I'm very confident that I will I will win this election.
Fair enough. You're a prominent member of and I'm going to make a note of what you said right there. You're a prominent member of the athletic team at Yorkcastle High School. You're not afraid critics might say you'll practice favoritism in preferring sportsmen and women over regular sixth formers.
No, Mr. Francis, as I said before, I'm an all-round person. I know how to communicate with persons. I love unity. So it's not about tracks alone. It's about all of us. All of us are one. We're one family. So not me doing tracks shouldn't be a separation from the others. We're all one and we're striving for greatness.
So you're confident that you're gonna win the election.
Well, I would say that, Mr. Francis. I'm
That's what
confident.
Donald Trump said too, when you see what's happening. How are you gonna manage failure if you lose?
Well, Mr. Francis, to be honest, whether lose or win, just the fact that I get this experience and I know that at least some of my sixth form schoolmates believe in me will give me that extra push to push through whatever I go through in life, just getting the experience. And even if I lose, Mr. Francis, I won't turn my back on the school or say such forth. I will, if I'm needed, I will work with TMY and I will make your great.
You would call her and congratulate her on her resounding victory, I presume.
Of course, Mr. Francis.
I hear you. So I have to ask you then, you sound like you wouldn't be a conflictive opponent. What do you bring to the table that your opponent doesn't?
All right, well, I'm innovative and creative. I am flexible. I am honest. I am trustworthy. And I am confident.
And you think your opponent lack these skills?
Yes.
I hear you, boss. Just last month, the Students' Council hosted its first town hall, and one of the rising concerns from Yorkists was a statement made by one particular student calling some Yorkists original Yorkists versus non-original Yorkists. Do you think there is segregation in sixth form on that basis? I think there is. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think there is segregation on that basis, but we should put in place a unity, not because someone isn't from your castle, that once they enter into your castle, you are a part of your castle. Once you walk through those gates, we're one family, and no one should feel left out or feel as if you're not here from grade semester, you're not a Yorkist. That's not how it works. Once you enter in that gate and you're registered at the school, you're a Yorkist and we're one family.
Fair enough. Talking about it doesn't fix it though. What would you do as president to try and bridge that gap, that division?
All right. Well, as president, what I'll do to bridge that gap, as I said, I would build through this corona thing now. I would have to create some groups online, six form group, and we all communicate. You know what? Communicate with them, let them know that don't feel left out. We're one family, and just try to build a unity among all of us, and we just go through.
Fair enough. We're coming up on our first break. Speaking with Omar Brown. Greatness starts with you making the great decision of voting for me, the man who says he will represent greatness with your voice. I am Bobby Francis. You're watching the B Broadcast brought to you by the B Broadcasting Commission, sponsored by the Students' Council of Yorkcastle High School, a union. You can be right back.
I know everybody I go like we, still we irie. Come in no love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like, still we irie. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the light. Enough of them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type. While like say them they
Happy to have you back with us. Speaking with Omar Brown, the man who says he will bring greatness uh, with your vote. This is the B broadcast brought to you by the B Broadcasting Commission, sponsored by the Students' Council of Yorkasa High School, a union you can trust. I'm your host, Bobby Francis on the B this evening. Omar Brown, we're back to you. Let's talk a little about the polls. You would have been keeping up with the election for some time, and you would have recognized that you're in the lead by 5%. You think this is a true reflection of how the election will turn out?
Yes, Bobby, I believe so.
You think your campaign is good enough on the ground to accurately secure you that 5% margin, or are you expecting a bigger margin after the election day?
Well, to be honest, Bobby, I am expecting a bigger margin after the election because I have
Okay,
a strong campaign team.
you have a strong campaign team. Let's pull up that poll for the presidential candidates and see how much of a battle it will be. How you plan to tap into that 15% of undecided voters, Mr. Brown?
Well, Mr. Francis, the work never stops. I will fight through the end. And to tap into that 15%, I'm campaigning, I'm campaigning, I'm campaigning. I'm trying to get the people to know me, who I am, know me for me, and knowing that voting for Omar is the right choice.
Is the right choice. What part of the electorate do you think you're not connecting to? The optimists, maybe you tell me.
Well, I'm not really sure about which part I'm not connecting with. I'm not really sure. But I know for a fact that I'm trying to connect with everyone.
We've heard that so many times, Mr. Brown, ensuring your voice comes first before making a decision. What mechanism do you plan to put in place to ensure that dream, that wish becomes a reality?
All right. Well, Mr. Francis, to let that dream come a reality, I will try to communicate with everyone. Let everyone feel let everyone feel comfortable talking with me, and feel safe. When I want to be the type of leader, or I should say, I am the type of leader. When you come to me with your concerns, I speak for you. I want to be the one to speak for you. I don't want you to talk to me and then, I just listen, okay, it's whatever. And I don't want to make the decisions without confronting it to my six farmers, because at the end of the day, it will affect them in a good way or a bad way. So I need to get their opinion and everything before making that move.
Making that move. Fair enough. Well, COVID-19 has come, it has rocked. What's your COVID-19 resilient action plan as president of the SFA should you be elected?
Well, COVID is here. We don't know when it's going to leave, but we have to just cope with it. So, as president for this COVID thing, I'll just ensure everyone, just cope with it. You have to do what we have to do. We have to get the work done. We are Yarkists. We settle for nothing but the best. Whatever means we have to go through. Sometimes the internet is down, but we still have to push through and get the work done. As president, if I, as president, when I can help out with students who aren't, as I said, who don't have all the resources that they need to comply with this thing. I will try to communicate with them, link up with them, and help out as best as I can to get so that they can get all their work done.
Definitely. What do you think about your opponent, Fiamoy Hill? What do you think about her manifesto? What do you think about her campaign? You think at the polls? What do you think about her? Talk to us.
All right. Well, I didn't hear manifesto, but TMY is a nice person. I've never had a problem with TMY. She's actually someone who keep herself on a level. You know, I don't see her really. I don't have anything bad to say about TMI. She's actually a nice person.
Fair enough. What do you think about her campaign, though? You think it has a way to threaten yours, or it's just over there in a corner by itself?
Well, I'll say it's over there in a corner by itself. I don't see where it's threatening me, or maybe I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it because of the persons who I have around me. But to be honest, I don't see where a campaign is threatening mine.
I hear they say she has the Westwood and the St. Hilda's votes, but then I hear you say you're the man with all those girls' votes. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, Mr. Francis, I just try to I just try to display myself to show them that I'm the leader that they need for this school. You know, as I said, every castle needs a king.
Fair enough. How you plan to appoint advisors, though? You plan to look in the tracks team for advisors or in general sixth form, if you plan to appoint any advisors?
Yes, and I wouldn't just look for advisors in the track team. I would look for advisors in the sixth form because you know, as I said, I don't want anyone to feel left out. I want this to be all of us. It's one family, unity is strength.
Um, Fair enough, Mr. Brown. Tell me, I see you plan to have award ceremony every month. Who you awarding and who's paying for that?
Well, Mr. Francis, with this award ceremony, you know, it doesn't have to be a big trophy or, you know, it's just a little token I would like to give to students from different areas. You know, sometime you have a student where they start out not getting good grades and then they pick up after a while. You know, let them feel motivated to continue. Don't let them just, you know, working and no one recognize them. You know, let them feel motivated, and that will I believe that will push them to do good every month and not fall off track.
Right, but who's paying for that?
Well, I will get sponsors, as I said, from private organization or public organization, friends and family, and events as well, fundraising
Fair
events.
enough. Fair enough. I see you want to put in place a sixth form lunch time, you know, with lunchtime already being undefined, doesn't sound too practical like it could work. What's the technicality for that plan?
All right. Well, Mr. Francis, you know, as a second year sixth form student, I know the trouble that we face when it comes down to lunchtime. You know, we have a clash with the senior students and sometimes even the junior students. So with this lunchtime thing now, I would want to extend this, at least extend the sixth form lunchtime a little bit more because sometimes we have classes straight throughout the day, and then when we go down by the canteen, we can't get any lunch. You know, it's either sometimes lunch isn't finished, but the cafeteria is closed. So I would like to extend the time for sixth formers.
You know, sometimes I hear the rumor sixth formers have no lunchtime. You just go when you have no class. How you gonna work in a lunchtime when you might have students with classes for the entire day? How are you gonna select one time for lunch? You think that can work?
Well, Francis, as I said, maybe the selecting one specific lunchtime wouldn't work. So that's why I would say expand the lunchtime then for six months. Expand.
All right, fair enough. Tell me though, Mr. Brown, have to run to this question before we come up on our break. Do you think there is segregation or a struggle for power between the different leadership groups within the school? Students' council, prefecture, um, sixth form. Do you think there is a struggle for power and should you become the president? Or you plan to bridge that gap?
Well, Bobby, I don't really think there's segregation when it comes down to different leadership. You know, I don't think there's really segregation. But if there's segregation, as I've been saying over and over, I will do my best to get everyone together. As I said, we're one family and we should work together to make our castle great. Not separate each other. Unity is strength.
Fair enough. What motivates you, Mr. Brown? Talk to us about that.
Well, to be honest now, Mr. Francis, you are the one who actually motivate me.
I didn't catch that. I'm asking you what motivates you, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, and I'm saying you're the one who actually motivates me.
Okay, wow, that's a response. I hope you're not campaigning here. Probably that's a campaign stunt you're pulling. What about Bobby motivates you, Mr. Brown? That's you.
Bobby, from grade 7, you have always been that leader. You always stand out and you get along well with everyone. You know to get the job done. You're hardworking, you're dedicated. So, as a student of York High, I would say, I want to be like Bobby. So I strive for greatness.
Fair enough, Mr. Brown. That sounds like you have a plan in place. Tell me though, Mr. Brown, we've always heard of this, and I appreciate, I'm humbled by you saying that you are inspired by me. Truly humbled by that. Fair enough. Let's talk a little about the polls. You've been watching the elections. You've been watching the elections closely, I presume, to kind of pick out your executive should you become the president of the SFA. We're going to look a little at the senior vice president who was past junior vice president, and he has an approval rating of 75%. In an interview yesterday, Mr. Berry threw his support not behind you, but behind your opponent, Tiamoy Hill. Do you think should you become the president of sixth form, there'd be hostility between you and Mr. Berry, although he has made it clear he supports Tiamoy Hill for president, although he knows you. What's up on that?
All right. Well, Mr. Francis, to be honest, I don't think there would be a problem between Barry and I because
You
he's
want to kick
someone
him out
who
of your
talks.
cabinet?
Pardon me?
You want to kick him out of your cabinet?
No, sir. No, not at all.
Quite. Let's look into the junior vice president race. This one has been, bringing up a lot of discussions from the other day. Tight race between Lennon Richards and Paul Jones. We had Nastasia Scarlett who was in the race at one point. We had Kimon Hines. Mr. Richards says he has Nastasia's 10%, but Paul Jones says he has the 30% undecided. What do you think about that race going on there, and who has your vote?
Well, I'll say Lennon Richards. And
Lennon has your vote.
all right, Lennon has my vote because over the years, knowing Lennon, he's someone who you can work along. You can work along with.
In a party system going on. Let's look at events coordinator. This one ought to be interesting. There we have a very tight race going between Alicia Harvey, Leopold Smith. I think Yashima pulled out just the other day. What do you think about that election, and who has your support? Talk to us.
Well, Mr. Francis, as you said before, this is a tight election. This is a tight one. I know Leopold to be that jovial person, always interactive, gets along with people, so forth. Alyssa Harvey, I've just met her recently, and she looks like she have the quality that you need in a events coordinator. But I'd say Leopold are my vote.
Fair enough. Let's pull up the secretary's race. Want to talk about, then we're going to do treasurers and close off with PRO. Let's look at the secretary's race. Let's hear what the president aspirant wants to say about the secretary's race, which I hear is becoming tight with Sabia Anderson in the lead, Rebecca James still in behind, Danica Brown, I think, pulled out recently, and our very own renounced Christian Talitha Thorpe. What's your view on that race and who has your vote?
All right. Well, I don't know Sabia Anderson. I don't know Denika Brown, and I don't know Telita Torpy, if I said that right. But I met with Rebecca James over the internet, and since this election thing, and by talking to her, she's dedicated for this position, and she's trying her best. She's working hard, and she's a people person. I can see her doing good in this position. So I'll say Rebecca Jones.
Rebecca James has your vote. Let's talk about treasurers. Let's look at the treasurers race. Let's look into that a bit detail. I see Amelia Taylor with 30%, Corey Gordon with 25. That race is obviously undecided because majority of that race falls in the undecided gap. Amelia says she has that. Corey says she has that. Another tight one. What do you think about that, Omar? And who has your vote?
Well, Mr. Francis, sorry, that's a tight race, and boy, to tell you what my vote right now, I would be just guessing because I don't really know much about those individuals. So I'll say let the best man win, Mr. Francis.
Right, you don't know anything about that one. Fair enough. But let's put you in a position where you might know something. Let's look at the public relations officer race. Right before I ask you my final question into the final segment, let's look at the PRO's race. That one is causing quite the feud among six formers with a popular Lamoy Nunes, but already come and renounced Amanda Slew. Not going to pay attention to Odera Valentine there with 14%. But who do you think has your vote with this one and what do you think about this race? Talk to us.
All right, Mr. Francis. This race is a close race. It's just a 5% lead, just like myself and Tiamo. To be honest, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone in this, but I see Amanda Sewell. She have a great campaign team. I'm seeing her all over the place. So she's putting in the work, and I'm going to give her my vote, Sir Francis.
Going to give Amanda Slew your vote. No one for treasurer. I think Leopold for events coordinator. Lennon Richards for junior VP. Didn't hear whether he approves of Berry or not, but he said it in a very diplomatic way. Mr. Brown, enough, everybody's exempt. Well, we're speaking with Omar Brown. Greatness starts with you making the great decision of voting for me. The man who says he will represent greatness with your vote. After this break, we're going to have Omar Brown telling us his final appeal to the students at York High School why they should vote for him. I am Bobby Francis. You're watching the B broadcast brought to you by the B Broadcasting Commission, sponsored by the Students' Council of York High School, a union you can trust. We'll be right back.
I know everybody I go like we, still we irie. Come in a love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like, still me irie. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the life. Enough of them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type. While like say them they
Speaking with Omar Brown, the president aspirant of the 2020-2021 year, saying he would like to keep your castle great, giving us some awesome ideas of renovation, transparency, and representation. We had a robust discussion with Omar before the break, and we're back with him now on his final appeal to the voters as to why they should vote him in Friday's election. Omar Brown, the floor is yours. It's your time to tell your sixth form electorate why put the X beside Omar Brown.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. You should vote for Omar Brown because every castle needs a king. I'm a team player, I'm a leader, I'm innovative, I'm creative, I'm trustworthy, I'm a honest person. You can always come to me with your problems and I will speak for you. I am not the type of person to make decisions behind your back without consulting you first. I believe in unity and unity is strength. I don't believe in a one-man thing. All of us, this hard work that we're going to put in to make your castle great involves all of us, not only me. And I've been working for this position for a while now. Ever since grade 9, I've been given leadership positions such as student counselor, peer counselor, farm captain, sixth farm student council representatives. I have an idea. I have the ideas in this position. I've been at the school from grade 7, so I know the runnings of the school. I know how to communicate with people, and I will be there for you. And as a last reminder, I say to you, if you're no clone and you're down for Omar Brown, you can share my crown because with me as your president, you will never frown. Thank you.
There you go. Colin Themoy Hill supporters clown. That's the one and only Omar Brown, vying for president of the Sixth Form Association on the campaign. Keep your castle great. Also comes together to say greatness starts with you making the great decision of voting for me. This is the man who says he will represent greatness with your vote. Friday's election, November 13, 2020, will cause an end to all this feud. And after that, we'll talk with the executive elect. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Bobby Francis, your host. This was the B broadcast brought to you by the B Broadcasting Commission, sponsored by the Students' Council of York Castle High School. What a robust night we had. Wishing all the best to the candidates as we close off our interviews for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, pleasant viewing. Thanks for watching.